Hello, my friends. Welcome back. It's time for another episode of Pints with Poke. I'm your host. Nobody else here. The Drunk Pokeroo. 'Tis near beer time. You might know this brand if you're into non-alcoholic beers, or even if you're not, because it's pretty ubiquitous. These guys seem to be everywhere, in grocery stores especially. Now, I picked this up off Designated Drinks because, again, one-stop shop for all the beer choices I needed. Sober Carpenter. You got a Irish Red, non-alcoholic craft beer. I mean, they have a lot of styles. I've seen some stuff. I think we had a black IPA from them last year. I have it again. I'm going to revisit it because I think I have a different take on non-alcoholic beers now. You know, when you're mixing in one non-alcoholic beer amongst, 300 regular beers, you're going to have a different opinion. But when you're having nothing but non-alcoholic beers, it changes your perception of beer. Believe me, when you mix in one regular beer among 20 non-alcoholic beers, you know what I'm talking about. There's a specific subset of people who know what I'm talking about. If you've stopped drinking altogether, or if you've cut so far back that, having a regular beer is something that's the unique moment, not having a non-alcoholic beer, you know what I'm talking about. It's a special thing. It is. There's that weird metallic note. Again, I found this in another one. But malty too. All right, let's get into it. Cheers, my friends. Irish Red. Always looking for a good red ale. Cheers. All right, first we'll do the good. Let's always put forth the good news first, right? We'll make a sandwich of some sort. So the metallic smell, didn't like that. Nice body, notes of toffee, caramel, a little bit of nuttiness. And on the other side of the bread, a little smoky. For an Irish Red, I mean, maybe they're supposed to be smoky. I don't know much about Irish Reds, but it's a little smokier than I was expecting. And I find that the smoke, and it shouldn't, or maybe it should, always gives me some weird lingering tobacco note. This is not as bad as that Quebec one from Two Frères. It's okay. I put this in that, so that we're kind of developing categories as we go along here. Like there's the rebuys, must buy, kitchen partly, everyday player. These are beers we will have in our fridge whenever we get them, whenever they're available. They're beers, would you buy 4 of them? And I'm like, yeah. Then there's this sort of next tier, second and third tiers, not bad, like fourth, fifth tier where you're never touching them again. You don't finish them, right? There's these kind of middling beers, and this is one of those. It's not completely offensive. It's okay. It's got some really nice things to it, and I can see how somebody would like this, depending on your palate and your flavor profile, right? And then, but it's going to be in that. It's going to slip into that third and fourth category where I'm like, I'm not going to buy it again, but I would recommend it if you like these notes, if this appeals to your flavor sensibility, as it were. I will say this about it too. It doesn't really taste like a non-alcoholic beer. It doesn't feel like I'm drinking a non-alcoholic beer. I think they've nailed that part right. I just think some of the flavor profile doesn't work with what I was expecting. But the more I sip it, and again, we find this all the time, the more I sip it, the more I start to understand what's going on inside of it. And I think that's, there's that weird learning curve we've been on for the last couple of months with these beers where, you're asking me to interpret a beer on 3 sips. It's not easy sometimes. My initial impression and what happens after I finish the whole beer can sometimes change, or, it alters your perception of it. Again, I would put this in that secondary tier, not the must-buys, not the would-have-agains, sort of in that, yeah, it's all right. And if you gave it to me, I wouldn't, be like, oh, no, I'd rather have a glass of water. But would I go out of my way to buy it again? Probably not. It doesn't fit what I'm looking for. But that's okay. It's not bad. It's not egregiously bad. Like that collective art stout we had the other day. But it's it is what it is. You might like it. I don't know. Ooh, I don't know. Cheers. I gotta shave. I really, really do. I'm a hairy bastard.